whatever you know him as, Last Man Sitting from Pixel Pizza, and Sand Raiders of Soapy by Hollygriff.
If you imagine a real world location, the most important city in the United States, Washington, D.C., completely ravaged by a pandemic and struck by the strongest, worst blizzard of all time. And you are going to have to survive and extract the most valuable resources. And of course, that leads us to survivors. So what are we doing? Like, we can't rest on our laurels, our 10-year-old laurels from survival. So we're reimagining it. We're bringing this snowstorm, this weather change to Washington, D.C. And that's something that you've never seen in Washington, D.C. We're going to transform the entire map. We're thinking about it in a very different way with innovations that haven't been seen yet. There's a focus on this to make it such a different feeling experience from the core Division 2 experience. I think we've got something super, super promising here. Survivors is developed with Magnus Jensen, who is the original Division 1 creative director. So this is a guy who lives and breathes the Division. He's so excited about jumping into this type of game mode again. And there is a hint in the title of something that we're going to be doing really differently from everybody else. We always develop with a player in mind, with player types in mind. And I think here we have to acknowledge that the Division 2 has a large player base of passionate gamers. And one of the things that we want to do is really lean into the sort of comfort game of the Division 2. People are happy to jump in, know their way around the controller, know their way around the map. They know how to play this game. So we're going to take that and subvert it a little bit and change the map and make sure that the weather has an impact on you, which it doesn't have in Division 2. So there are lots of little things that we're doing to surprise our core audience. Veteran players, they're going to be surprised. All of these locations that they know by heart, they're going to be transformed.
Weather's finally going to take an effect on us.
Is in production, right? This is not a secret. It's been announced. It's shaping up to be a monster. I can't really say anything more than that, but this is within these walls in Massive. We are working extremely hard.
Division 3 is going to be a monster.
I think will be as big an impact as Division 1 was. There's a team in Paris working on this, and they're putting the final touches on a mobile execution of the promise of Division 1. So Division 1, New York, pandemic strikes, take back New York. This is a brand new story with mechanics that are really fine-tuned to a mobile phone. Graphically, this looks like a PS5. You may have seen the adverts for it. It looks phenomenal, really, really good. It plays really good. And it has a few innovations. You know, the Dark Zone, this area of atypical PvP. It was an area where, much like other games today, popular games today, you could walk around, you could hear gunshots, go over there, there'd be another agent. You'd approach cautiously, feel each other out and decide whether to partner or to actually engage in PvP. The whole of the Resurgence map is friendly to other agents. So you'll hear gunshots on a corner. You won't need to be in the Dark Zone. It could be anywhere, and you can group with those people. So PvP is off by default, but being able to group up and to see other agents in the streets, that's never been done in a Division game before, let alone a mobile game.
Yo, some good stuff there. So pretty much they announced Survivors, talked a little bit about Division Resurgence, which is the mobile game coming. Pretty good, pretty good. Nah, they're not gonna port it over. My Galaxy Note ain't pushing PS5 graphics. What is this? I think it's a DLC, no? Nobody knows what the hint is. Survivors. Oh. Nobody has guessed the hint from what I've known. What is this? D-Price, what's going on, man? Counter-Strike on crack. What is this game? There's gonna be more info at the FPS event. When is the FPS event? Heat like the movie, right? I felt like this was like Heat. B-Price. Yeah, they talked about Survivors, Division Resurgence a little bit. Pretty much said Division 3 is turning out to be the biggest game. It's gonna be massive. As big as Division 1 is what he said. Bigger. We could probably see something pretty crazy.
And this is where like you can get even more power-ups when playing the PvE game mode. So that's when it gets really ridiculous.
Okay.
And you can unlock, of course, new weapons, new characters, new abilities. You can upgrade your chair, so you can.
That was one of my questions. So
we looked a lot at this like early 2000s aesthetic, which we thought was like really cool, especially like when we started designing the user interface.
Oh, never mind.
You know, what if the whole user interface just felt like Windows Millennium Edition or Windows XP, and you have that those little square windows, and you have the font.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Remember?
You guys want to watch this? You guys want to watch the interview?
Sort of became more
I
of
say,
this,
I say we cut this
2000s
and we watch the interview, huh?
Nostalgia type
Right?
game.
I think that'd be better.
We also
Let's
have a
go watch
lot
it.
of like Counter-Strike players at the office.
Cool. Yeah, let's cut it. We'll go back and
That's
watch this
definitely
later.
something that I think has had its imprint on the game as well. Imagine
like 23 minutes.
2002 and you're listening to punk music.
Let's go.
I'm Julian Garrity. I'm the executive producer on Tom. I'm Julian
Here
Garrity.
you go.
I'm the executive producer on Tom
Let's watch
Clancy's
it.
The Division. I've been at Ubisoft for 26 years. The last 15 or 16, I've been a creative director. So I feel like a fraud as a executive producer, but it's really interesting. So as a creative director, of course, I worked on Division 1, Division 2, and Star Wars Outlaws. But now, I have an overview of all things Division. And that's where my heart is, which is video games, but it's outside of video games as well, with comic books and stuff like that. All the adaptations inside and outside video game.
and 26 years, industry veteran, I think is an appropriate term.
26 years. I joined Ubisoft when I was 7 years old. So, I'm kidding. It's been a while. It's more than half of my life. Honestly, best job ever. It's the most thrilling industry. Every 5 years, you have this leap of technology. You have games that change constantly. It keeps you thinking. It keeps you fresh. It keeps you dynamic, and you get to make stuff with your friends. So that's incredibly important to me.
And what led off into your time with Ubisoft? You've been there for a while, but what was your first entry point, if I may ask?
Okay, so first thing I ever did was to build financial analysis Excel tables to help us predict and build a business forecast for different titles that Ubisoft was building. So I was in charge of consumer
Working at Ubisoft longer than you've been
insights
existed.
within a strategic marketing department. So it really allowed me to get to grips with what people were buying, what people were excited by, what platforms were doing. Xbox wasn't a thing back then. It was about to launch. So lots and lots of really great data points. And obviously, at the heart of all of this, a real passion as a gamer. And I started playing games in 1981. Now, I can confidently say that's last century. And it's, picture this. I had one.
Yeah, Josie, we're watching the interview right now.
And
It literally was a clip
magicians that
of
were
this
making
in the
games
thing,
on
and then they
machines
directed
that
us
had
here to watch the whole
sometimes
thing.
up to 16K. But one of my favorite games was called 3D Monster Maze. And check it out. There's videos of it on YouTube. It's a corridor. It's a first-person game. And you come across dinosaurs. When I was playing this in my bedroom in 1981, it felt like Jurassic Park. It sounds like a joke now, but that was so vivid to me. And I fell in love then. And then you realize that actually these are jobs and people can contribute to the industry and
What's going on,
build
Grimmett?
projects together. So, I've been involved with a bunch of Tom Clancy games, Star Wars. It's been such a thrilling ride so far.
Well, I think there's no better person to ask than what would you see as some of the core defining moments of the Division as a franchise over that period of time?
It's funny because I'm going to give you an answer which is very much linked to the development
Andres, thank you for the Twitch
process.
Prime, man. Appreciate you.
So I think I think core moment for Division 1 is 2013, when the first playable was shown to the world. When the game was announced, there was that moment where there was this hyper photorealistic cinematic vision of a pandemic-stricken New York that captured everybody's imagination.
That's honestly what captured us.
LA when we still had a trade industry show in Los Angeles, and everybody on the show floor was talking about this game. And that was a key moment for the franchise. That was absolutely one of those lightning in a bottle moments where everybody's eyes are on that thing. I think
he's talking about survivors, division resurgence, stuff like that.
Division 1, when we were in, it's called the war room, but what it was a, office space with 4 screens on the wall and like 20 developers in front of it. When we pressed that button to allow people into the game, and we started seeing like these points flash up all around the world, France, Sweden, Germany, the US, Mexico.
Incoming, what's going on, man?
Player counts start to bump up. And
appreciate the raid.
The numbers couldn't keep up. And
hopefully you had a good stream.
Yes. And then we were like, oh my gosh, this means so much more work. and just those moments of connection, of joy, not only with the dev team, but with the community, incredibly important moments. So that's Division 1. Division 2 was very much the same thing. We went to E3 with a playable demo that we worked so hard on, and we showed it to everybody. Kojima came around. All of these industry superstars came around, and we were able to show the work that we've done in a very short amount of time. That was phenomenal. And I think, very recently, we released a DLC on Division 2. 7 years after the launch, Battle for Brooklyn. Day 1 of Battle for Brooklyn, this DLC, we had 500,000 DAU players jump back into the
500,000. Look at them numbers.
And that brings us so much joy.
Day 1 Battle for 500,000.
And people have a lot of feedback, and the community has a lot of feedback for us. And we need to listen to that.
Numbers bigger than I thought.
Take notes, and that's.
I think that's the first time you've ever mentioned it.
Game is that there's always something that we can improve, revise, but we also have this absolute task to keep on surprising and delighting people. So if we can surprise with a DLC 7 years down the line, phenomenal. And that
7 years down the line, 500,000 players
which is
logged in on day 1.
Another surprise.
Pretty good.
8 years down the line of something brand new.
And you speak a lot about that community, and to have those kind of numbers has to feel so rewarding. But it's also something you don't want to take.
Survivors should be coming out this year.
How have you
later
guys
this year.
used that fan feedback to? Has it changed the direction, or has it helped shape the vision at all of the division?
Absolutely. There's no doubt that there's constant dialogue with members of the community. We have a special, community group called the Elite Task Force. We have a Discord with them. There's a lot of stuff shared with them. We don't.
They mentioned Survivors later this year.
These community members to Sweden because we're based in the darkest area of the world in Sweden. It's great. I love it.
Yep.
It's been 12 years.
Because Division 3 still a ways out. That's why, Siegel.
We're going to bring them over here in February for, some pretty cool, pretty exclusive stuff. It'll be, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but
they're bringing people in February.
I'm the executive producer, so I've only got myself to blame at the end of the day. But they'll be playable of things that we've announced, and maybe even things that we haven't announced. So we're really going to extract as much feedback as possible from these very precious members of the community.
And speaking of newest things, obviously part of the big reason why we're here talking, can you describe Survivors for even those who maybe aren't involved with the Division franchise? What is Survivors to you?
So Division 1, we had 3 DLCs. we had one that was focused on replayable dungeons called Underground. We had one which was PvP focused called Last Stand. And we had the fan favorite, which was Survival. And Survival was, before it was even a word, it was an extraction shooter.
I was going to say, you guys really beat the wave here we've seen now.
I mean, if I hear one single person in the chat saying that Ubisoft only chases trends, I'm going to be disappointed, because this was before it was even a thing. And it became such a strong fan favorite. And the concept behind it was New York City ravaged by a snowstorm. You're lost in the blizzard. You need to get to the heart of the map to be able to extract. And there's NPCs in the world, but also other players. And the other players, they can be friends, but they can also be a real competition. So PvE, but with a PvP, a typical PvP. Very, very exciting. It's something that people still play today. Next week, this is December when we're talking, but next week in December, we're doing a survival fest where we're partnering with the community to just play Division 1 and to get some runs in, to get the excitement for survival. And of course, that leads us to survivors. So what are we doing? Like, we can't rest on our laurels, our 10-year-old laurels from survival. So we're reimagining it. We're bringing this snowstorm, this weather change to Washington, D.C. And that's something that you've never seen in Washington, D.C. We're going to transform the entire map. We're thinking about it in a very different way, with innovations that haven't been seen yet. I can't talk about them today because we have a long communication thing, but there's a focus on this to make it such a different feeling experience from the core Division 2 experience. And I played it this week. We had our third playable build. It's really shaping up. So it'll take the time that it takes, but I think we've got something super, super promising here.
And are there, I know you said you got to keep it limited, but are there any details people can know, how Survivors keeps the core to Division 2, but also still expands upon the original version? Can you give me anything there?
I think there are a couple of things here that I'm really happy about. Survivors is developed with Magnus Jensen, who is the original Division 1 creative director. So this is a guy who lives and breathes the Division. He's so excited about jumping into this type of game mode again. And he knows the community. He knows the audience. He knows the gameplay. And there is a hint in the title of something that we're going to be doing really differently from everybody else.
Well, what do you think this might offer veteran players, or do you think this might catch the eye because of the genre, extraction shooter? Do you think this might catch the eye of some newcomers that stumble across it? What do you think it offers players like that?
It's a really good question, because we always develop with a player in mind, with player types in mind. And I think here we have to acknowledge that the Division 2 has a large player base of passionate gamers. And one of the things that we want to do is really lean into the sort of comfort game of the Division 2. People are happy to jump in, know their way around the controller, know their way around the map. They know how to play this game. So we're going to take that and subvert it a little bit and change the map and make sure that the weather has an impact on you, which it doesn't have in Division 2. So there are lots of little things that we're doing to surprise our core audience. Veteran players, they're going to be surprised. All of these locations that they know by heart, they're going to be transformed. New players, there'll never be a better time to jump into the Division 2.
we've seen the rise of recent extraction shooters. I think Arc Raiders goes, without needing mention. And we've already mentioned you guys are expanding upon an original version of this. But when we take a look at these more modern versions that have really taken off, are you guys at all taking inspiration from current existing games of that genre, or are you simply trying to expand upon your original version with your own ideas?
For survivors to be good,
yeah, it does.
It needs to strip our builds away.
Focus
100%.
on how do we build on what we have and surprise ourselves.
We can't go in with our full builds. It wouldn't work.
If we take inspiration from
I don't think
this game or that game, that's really chasing trends. So we're really focused on how do we take what we did 10 years ago in survival, adapt that to the Division 2, adapt that to Washington, D.C., adapt it to a new audience, but also bring some brand new things that have really never been seen before.
Last question around
I think Heartland
what's
mechanics
your big,
could work really good in
anyone?
the Division 2
I'm sure
survivors world.
Regardless, but
I don't know if any of you guys saw the gameplay for that.
So unique and so fun.
I think if you imagine a real world location, the most important
what's going on,
city
Jay?
In the United States, Washington, D.C., completely ravaged by a pandemic and struck by the strongest, worst blizzard of all time.
Jay's always late.
You are going to have to survive and extract the most valuable resources.
I knew going into this before we talked, I knew you were a really good storyteller. I had a feeling that every time you talk, I can picture it. I think that was great, man. Some people, you talk to some people a bit more, reserved, and you said you.
I like Julian. I will say that, guys.
I knew I was going to get a good.
I've met Julian a few times already, multiple events.
Do you play the Division?
I'm all the way back to the original. Have not played the in between, and I'm a big college buddy watcher of a lot of these prime games. So definitely will be hopping back in around this time.
Listen, I can comfortably guarantee that if you jump in the Division 2 today, you're going to have a blast. The core loop, the core combat is so satisfying that if you don't like it, I'll refund it.
I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip that right there.
He said he'll refund it if he doesn't like it.
Closing questions, more so tailored to the franchise and what we've heard about as well before. The Division 3 is obviously going to be widely talked about, being confirmed. Can you give us any insights there, or can you even speak to what it takes to make a decision of okay, we are ready for a sequel, or we're at least ready to talk about said sequel? When it's such a big franchise, when do those points come to be?
So the Division 3 is in production, right? This is not
Division 3 is in production.
It's been announced.
Let's go.
It's shaping up to be a monster.
A monster.
I can't really say anything more than that. But this is within these walls in Massive. We are working extremely hard on something that I think will be as big an impact as Division 1 was.
I knew you were going to give me a line. The Division 3 is shaping up to be a monster. That's all I need.
A monster.
Perfect.
But you guys are also branched out into mobile, though, with things like Resurgence. So what has that been, and what does that also offer you guys? It's got to be, I wouldn't say spreading yourself thin, but to diversify today's market, what's it like to then go into mobile?
You have to keep in mind that these are separate teams, right?
Yeah.
So the Survivors team, the Division 3 team, the Division 2 team, they're all separate teams. In Resurgence, there's a team in Paris working on this, and they're putting the final touches on
Division 3 is a couple years out, guys, so just remember
execution of the promise of Division 1. So
2028 earliest, I think, Trice.
Pandemic strikes, take back New York. This is a brand new story with mechanics that are really fine-tuned to a mobile phone. Graphically, this looks like a PS5. You may have seen the adverts for it. It looks phenomenal, really, really good. It plays really good, and it has a few innovations. One of which I hope they've already announced. If they haven't, I'll apologize.
Chris will catch it.
Yeah, but they have this innovation that we've never done. You know, the dark zone. The dark zone
Yeah.
in Division 1 was, and Division 2, was this area of atypical PvP. It was an area where, much like other games today, popular games today, you could walk around, you could hear gunshots, go over there, there'd be another agent. You'd approach cautiously, feel each other out, and decide whether to partner or to actually engage in PvP. Now, the whole of the Resurgence map is friendly to other agents. So you'll hear gunshots on a corner. You won't need to be in the dark zone. It could be anywhere, and you can group with those people. So PvP is off by default, but being able to group up and to see other agents in the streets, that's never been done in a Division game before, let alone a mobile game. So these guys are wizards. I don't know how they did it, but real wizards.
And speaking of the title, whether or no matter the platform, no matter the sequel, prequel, whatever it is, what do you think needs to remain unchanged for that core of the Division to remain as is?
That's pretty much my job at the moment, is to define those things. So I love this question because it's my comfort zone. I think when you close your eyes, you need to think of a brand, any brand that you love, and be able to define it with a few certain pillars that are exclusive to this brand. And for the Division, it's really 3 concepts that flashed up on that first gameplay trailer in 2013. Open world, online, RPG. When you think of those 3 things and you add little definitions to it, open world, these are real world locations. We're not going to made up fancy locations. This is Washington, D.C. recreated 1-to-1. You get to know Washington, D.C. in Division 2, you know Washington, D.C. in the real world. So real world, open world locations. Online, this is fundamentally a co-op focused game. Every single mission, every single challenge you can do as a co-op experience. Multiplayer in the dark zone, PvP in the dark zone, but everything else is very much focused with co-op in mind. We're not making our lives easier with these pillars, by the way. So open world, online, and it's an RPG. There's a depth here. There's a live connotation to it that means that people can play for 40 hours. They can play for 2,000 hours. There's a lot of depth that you can really explore by yourself or with your friends. And that's those 3 pillars put together. I can't think of any other game that does it. That's what makes us really stand out.
Last one for you as well. I don't get the chance to talk to 30-year vets dang near as much. What have you seen change in this space that you are most excited for?
What have I seen? This is going to be a controversial answer, but when I see games like Genshin Impact that break down walls for people to jump in and play with their friends, that really excites me. It's just in terms of experience, being able to see, a group of my daughter's friends sit down on a couch. One is playing on PS5, one is playing on their phone, another is on an iPad, and being able to play together with no barriers of monetization or, a $50, $60, $70 price tag. That really, as an innovation, I think that's fantastic. That really gets people on the couch again, talking again, playing again.
That is not you're right. That's not the answer I expected from you. I know I kind of wild card there, but I'm sure you can give plenty of answers.
I can think of
you could probably think of
other
20.
answers, but this one is the one where recently I've been really impressed by that work. I think it's a remarkable achievement.
Pretty good interview. Hey, what do y'all think about that? I think that was actually a pretty good one to sorry, I was trying to finish some stuff. That was actually really good there. Let me finish some stuff here. think we'll hop on for a little bit. Might as well see what we need to do. Trying to finish a couple things, guys. Not bad though. Not bad to see the good news about. I'm surprised he mentioned that Division 3's turning out to be so massive. Did you hear him? He said Division 3 is going to be a beast. So pretty good news there. They're working on a couple other things too. So Division Survivors. I guess we got maybe wait. I think this year we'll probably get it, 2026, and then I think in 2028 is probably earliest we'll see Division 3. You know, they're probably working on it, but kind of good. We already knew Division 3 was confirmed. I think a lot of people just were unsure because they've been so quiet with it, you know. So hit that up and get that going. Sorry, I'm just trying to finish something. Perfect. Let me grab this. I think I need to do the weekly today. I haven't done the weekly. All right, so we'll close that. Boom, got that. Let me highlight this real quick. Then we can post it. 2 seconds, guys. I'm just trying to. Be price. Yeah.
Twice it's sort of which there's new ability players. I think
One,
music
26 years. The last, I'm the executive producer. I'm Julian Garrett, the executive producer on top.
Let's watch it.
I've been at all of.
Please. Sorry.
Executive producer on top.
Let's watch it.
Producer on.
music.
Let's go. 2
I'm
seconds.
Julian Garrett. I'm the executive producer on time. Producer on time. I'm Julian Garrett. I'm the executive.
We've seen their boat.
Rainforest bundle? What bundle's that?
On that first game, you get some 2,000.
I think wild card there.
Say,
Wild.
Sorry, I was trying to figure.
achieve.
All right, cool. Let me hide that. Interview, perfect. All right, cool, cool. Cool, cool. Let's grab this. Sorry, guys. We're just updating some stuff. I think we're good here. Perfect, perfect. Let's get this stuff together. Otherwise, Ark will retire them. I mean, it's 2 different games, anime. Ark is a whole different game, to be fair. Like, I honestly hate when people like try to compare the 2 games. Division is a looter shooter. Arc Raiders isn't a looter shooter. It's an extraction shooter. 2 different genres. That's like saying Escape with Tarkov will retire Call of Duty. You know? Or saying RuneScape will retire World of Warcraft. Maybe that's a little closer. But you get the point, right? It's like saying Marathon will retire Arc Raiders. Or blah blah, but one's a first person, one's a third person. Like you can't put the 2. Division 2, Division 1 is very popular because of the looter shooter aspect of it, right? The survival, the dark zone, yeah, that's part of it, but the survival element, which was an extraction shooter, isn't their core. They can put it in there as like a game mode, but at the end of the day, Division 3 is going to be a looter shooter at the core, which will bring in hundreds, because there's a lot of people who only want looter shooter aspect of the game. And then there's going to be, obviously they'll cater to the other side too, but yeah, totally different games. They won't go over each other, right? Like Division Arc Raiders is strictly PvP 99% of the time. Division 1 PvE blows away, Division 2 PvE blows away anything PvE related in Arc Raiders. Yeah, you have a cool boss. You have one really cool boss, you know, Matriarch. You have the Queen. I love Arc Raiders, but I play Arc Raiders for PvP. Totally different games. Totally different games, anime. So, I guess like you gotta stick to the same genre. It would be more saying, oh, if Destiny 3 comes out before Division 3, they might have a competition there because both looter shooters, you know. But total different genres. They don't have anything to worry about. Yeah, there's a full interview. We're actually gonna post it on the second channel in a few. But that's just, I hate when people like bring that up because they really don't know anything about the gaming industry and they don't know how that all works. You gotta compete, you gotta compare genres with genres, right? Just because a game is third person doesn't mean it's the Division, or doesn't mean it's Arc Raiders, or doesn't mean it's the Day Before or Grand Theft Auto. You know, just because the game is third person, they're not the same at all. So like, it's just you like, I feel people see third person and then they always say Division. They say, man, there was SOCOM US Navy SEALs, which was third person before, but you wouldn't say the Division took over SOCOM. You know, it's just totally different concepts. But yeah, just as long as we keep those genres can compete with each other, right? A looter shooter and an extraction shooter don't compete with each other at the core. Yeah, they're fundamentally 100% different games, Sniper.
Entering safe
Fundamentally 100 different games. They just released the DLC. They just said it on their thing. They just released the DLC. Battle for Brooklyn had 500,000 players. That's all platforms on day one for a 7-year-old game. DLC, 500 players day one. That doesn't include people who found out about the DLC after and started buying. But day one, they had 500,000 people. So that's pretty good for a game that is 7 years old, right? So like when they compare Ubisoft Connect, Xbox, PlayStation, 500,000 people logged in during that day to play a 7-year-old DLC. Just tells you, and then, you know, people started finding out about the DLC as it got announced later on. But that still tells you there's a lot of people logged in day one to get into it, which is, you know, that's the big thing. So like totally different concepts. I think as long as we keep that in mind, we should be good there. All right, guys. Hey, if you guys are over on YouTube, head over to Twitch, because we are going to be streaming live on Twitch. We'll be streaming a little bit more Division, then we'll be jumping onto some Arc Raiders. Appreciate everybody over on YouTube for hanging out with us today. Make sure you guys drop a like before you leave. We'll start to be bringing a few more streams over on YouTube more often, but twitch.tv/NothingButSkillz, you guys can watch it here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. GG's in the chat over on YouTube, but I will see you guys later. Come over to Twitch, twitch.tv/NothingButSkillz, if you guys want to come over and hang out as we game a little bit more. But that's it for the YouTube side. We're going to continue on with the Twitch side. Appreciate you guys. All right, we're good. So we just ended